doubts, attachments, and all the things, you know, cultural, intellectual, scientific, this and that. But then Prabhupada speaks about Krishna, and boom, Krishna all of a sudden is real. Yes, I believe Krishna exists. And, you know, I'm very grateful, of course, to Prabhupada. I'm very grateful to Krishna. I'm very grateful to Maharaj, who, you know, brought me up. And that after 50 years, it works. You know, it works. And I like Krishna. I cannot say I love him, but I definitely say I like him, and I definitely say I would like to love him. Yes, more and more. It's getting better and better. It's getting more and more natural. You know, I was on Sankirtan, you know, I was the last one, I was always fried. I never saw Maharaj fried in his life, never. Always, yes, enthusiastic. I owe him, you know, my life to Prabhupada. Thank you very much. It's okay?
Yeah. TK.
Thank you. May I share you some more other? Bogini, of course. I don't know, you're supposed to have a session for all of you only, for you only this afternoon, I heard. But if you want to say a few words on Mayapur, that would be nice. Another Malati, she was there, so another Sharada.
Bogini was in Mayapur.
Bogini.
Anyway, we have time because everybody said we were going to fast, you know, we want to be
Who said that? Who said that?
Hare Krishna, exalted devotees. So nice to be amongst all of you. And Vishnu Hare Krishna Prastaya Bhutali Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swati Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachalini Nivise Sashunyavati Pashati Shatadini. So, remembering of Prabhupada actually coming and installing Krishna in Balram. I just remember I was not living in New Mayapur, so I'm really eager to hear all of you. But I remember that class, Indradyumna Maharaj talked about it. It was so extraordinary class. It was under a tree. I don't know if the tree is still here. Is it?
I don't think so.
No.
Is it there?
Là-bas. Still there. And it was such a wonderful family atmosphere. And Prabhupada was making such a beautiful point, as you described, Maharaj. At the time, I think the community, the temple, needed Lakshmi. And we didn't value so much farm life at that time. And most of the devotees were actually distributing books, collecting Lakshmi. And Prabhupada's point was so powerful. He said something, and Gopaswami Prabhu has counted how many times he said that during the class, maybe 50 times.
83.
What?
83 times.
83 times.
Love, bhakti, pure service. 83 times.
Yes, and he said, you just need to love Krishna, and everything else will come. And it was so powerful. And we were hearing that, you know, meaning even if we have difficulties, if we just learn or if we just try to progress in loving Krishna, everything else will come. And I remember something very, very funny. There was one devotee called Abhinandan Prabhu. Abhinandan Prabhu, he was a poet, and he was distributing books. When he was distributing books, door to door, he was presenting himself as, in French we say, l'abbé Nanda, like the bishop Nanda. And then, when it was time for question, he raised his hand and he said, Srila Prabhupada, do you mean we should love Krishna? You know, that question, Prabhupada had said 83 times. Prabhupada, do you think we should love Krishna? And in my remembrance, Prabhupada laughed. And then he said, it's like somebody in India has been listening to Ramayana for 7 days. And at the end of seeing the Ramayana, listening to the Ramayana, he says, so Sita, she's the, I may make a mistake, but something like, she's the uncle of Ram. and Srila Prabhupada was laughing. And it was dear Abhinandan. So, yeah, the beautiful ceremony was given a very precious seva. I remember to get fresh cow urine from a cow or an oxen, you know, passing urine. And I was a city girl, so I was with my bucket, you know, running from one cow to the other. So it's such a joy to be here. We've been here for Balarama Parents Day, and every time to see how the community is actually becoming more and more alive, to see how the relationship between the devotees are becoming sweeter and sweeter. And it has been said already, and I don't want to embarrass him, but we have unlimited thanks to Janananda Maharaj. You know, he kind of, sometimes it was so hard, he was saying, I'm leaving. But he stayed like Srila Prabhupada when he was going to the company of the Jaladuta. He was saying, when is the next ship going? And the employee was saying, but Swamiji, you come and you always ask, but you stay here. And now, you know, everything is going to bloom more and more. And we're very lucky to have Radhimna Maharaj come again. And, you know, it's like a circle coming together again. And Prabhupada is so pleased with all of you to contribute like that. And yes, it's one of the only holy places. Of course, there is Bhaktivedanta Manor, but one of the only places Srila Prabhupada spent some time. So it's very, very, very special. Just a few words, because I didn't live here, I didn't struggle with you here. But now we are all having the benefits of your struggle. But I think, Malati Prabhu, you were here also. Malati, you were in New Mayapur.
She was collecting from Mayapur.
Yes. Yeah. So just a few words and unlimited thanks to everybody. Hare Krishna.
Bogini Mataji, Hare Krishna. Haribol!
Okay. Yes. I came to New Mayapur after Srila Prabhupada had left. I don't think I came before. Did I? No. But I came here in 1978, just after my daughter was born. And we were in Spain when she was born, in Barcelona. And then we were in Madrid. And then in Madrid, I received a message from Bhagavan saying, we want you to come to New Mayapur just for a month to look after Gauravani and Manjari. Vaishnavi was in Gurukul still. And so I came and we were in the little, I don't know who lives there now, but a little house there. And I looked after Gauravani and Manj for a month. And I had my baby daughter, and she was born in January, and we were here, she was like 5 months old, 6 months old. And so I was looking after those, and I remember trying, I wasn't very good with kids, not little kids anyway. And I remember Gauravani, she was 3, and she was like, where's Krishna come from? I said, well, Krishna comes from Vrindavan. She says, I've never been to Vrindavan. I've been to Paris. Very different. So yes, and then after I had been looking after Bhagavan's children for a month, he said, oh, actually, Mahameda wants to go on Sankirtan. So I was looking after Gauravani and Manjari because Krishnavani needed a break and she needed to go on Sankirtan to get a break. You can see how hard it is looking after children when you go on Sankirtan for a break. And then Bhagavan said, Mahameda would like a break. She'd like to go on Sankirtan. And Mahameda was looking after the girls at ashram. So I didn't teach, but I looked after the ashram. And so, again, I think it was only probably for about a month or so, but it was very, very special time for me with my baby, absolutely gorgeous, cuddly, lovely, and all of the girls absolutely loving her. So I know there are some people here that were in that ashram. Radhapriya was, and Kirti, but then there are an awful lot of girls here who were not in the ashram, like Shamakund. You came when I was looking after the ashram. I remember you coming and joining the classes, but you were a little older than the majority of the girls, and Prema. But so I'm not really quite sure who was in the ashram and who wasn't, because it's all a little mixed up at the moment. But really, that is my main memory, is coming here and having to brush the hair of 9 girls every morning and braid it before Mangalarti, because they handed my baby to the next, and get them dressed and get them down here for Mangalarti and make sure that they didn't make horrible noise, and then take them off and get them to sit and chant japa. That's what they had to do, so they sat and they chanted japa. I think not in the ashram. We went into a room. Oh, we went into a room that later became Prahlad Bahari's room, I think, until it was time for prasadam. And then they went into the school. And when they went into the school, they said, which was just in what is now the sewing room, I believe, and Aradia was their teacher. And they say, Mother Aradia, what does brats mean? no, it wasn't a very nice word to use about children. Come on, you brats, get you outside again. So, and then she says, oh, that's not a very nice word, you don't say that to children. Anyway, so, but anyway, so that was really my main memories, was looking after the children in the group home. And yes, and then, so when did I stay here? I stayed here. I must have stayed after that. I think I stayed for maybe 2 years, because Sweta Manjari, she grew here until we were about 2.5 years old. She was when we went back to Italy when they had me, Villa Vrindavan. So I stayed here after, you know, it was a way of getting me out of Spain and getting me in Mayapur. And then I began to do deity service and making outfits for the deities. I hope they forgive me. And running in a nursery. I put together a nursery here so that the mothers, there were so many babies. You think there's a lot of babies now, you should have seen how many babies there were here then. I mean 24 babies, loads of babies. And put together a nursery so that all of the mothers could do service. As if looking after your child isn't a service. So everybody could do some service, and so I put together the nursery, and I made outfits for the deities, and dressed the deities. And I'm beginning to run out of ideas of what else I did. Oh, and then Bawa came, and he said, he was guru at this time, so he says, you should go on Sankirtan. And I'm like, I've got a baby. Well, someone else can look after your baby. And in 7-year-old Sankirtan in Paris with Ali Shekhar's crew. Oh, that was exciting. Well, I think I took Sweta with me first, but that didn't work out very well because I had to keep coming back to feed her. So, so Ali Shekhar sent her down here to Govinda Nandini. And I would come down on the Sunday, driving all of the women from the Harinam that had children here, all the women that had babies here. And we'd come down on Sunday morning and then drive all the way down from Paris. And I remember being quite scared driving. And we had Atmananda was here at that time. And I remember me talking to him and saying, you know, it's quite scary driving all these women in this big van. You know, I don't even think we had seats. I think it was just like chuck and pull at the back. and get here. And then run to our children and pick them up and feed them. And then we'd stay for the feast, and then we'd get in the van and we'd drive back to Paris again. We may have stayed the night and gone to Mongolarty and then driven to Paris the next morning. So it was quite an intense time, looking after all of these babies and going out there on Sankirtan with stickers. And that was really, really ghastly for me. I'm not saying it wasn't a good program, it was to collect money, but it was very, very hard to take Sankirtan like that.
Bogini?
Yes,
You
Mohammed.
were part of my Sankirtan party.
Oh, yes.
Remember?
Yes.
We had a Sankirtan party, I think we went to Italy.
We went to Italy
Italy,
from
yeah.
Paris.
Yeah, we were distributing books. I don't remember. I don't remember.
Little magazines.
Little magazines, yeah,
Maybe.
just kind of starting up the yatra down there. And I remember that we were camped out somewhere, and one gentleman came and he gave us a bottle of wine. And I refused it.
Yes.
And you were so upset. And I'm thinking, how can this girl possibly think that, you know, we can accept the wine? And you kept saying, but that's all he has. It's from his heart. He gave it to us. You should accept it. And I was arguing with you. But actually, you were right. Because there's that instance with Srila Prabhupada at 26 2nd Avenue, where one, homeless person came in with a roll of toilet paper. That's all he could find, and he went into the bathroom and put it there, walked away, and Prabhupada said he's done devotional service. So sometimes people don't know, but it's the intention that counts. And I have to say that I went and I broke that bottle of golden wine out. but you were defending his intention.
His intention, because we were not just camped out, we were taking prasad in the middle of one of his fields.
Yeah.
And he was a farmer, and he'd seen us out there, and he walked all the way from his farm out to where we was and spoke with us, and Maharaj spoke to him. And he went back to get the bottle of wine to come back with him. He wanted to make an offering to Krishna. Yes, and so we did accept it, and he did pour it away. But that was
I want to say you were right. You were more Krishna conscious than me, because you saw that he was trying to give what he thought was best.
Yes.
A bottle of wine costs a lot of money, and he was a farmer, so I stand corrected.
But I only came to Italy because of doing Sankirtan with you.
Yeah.
In fact,
We had a good time.
We had a great time doing Sankirtan. Yes. So yes, thank you for reminding me of that. There are many, many memories of doing Sankirtan on that particular journey. We came to Milano, and we met Gaura Krishna there. He was Giorgio Chicote at that time, and then he later joined the temple, and we went to Rome from
He
Milano.
protected us, actually. We would do kirtan wherever we went. We'd love to do kirtan. We're doing kirtan in the university, and a group of communist students who were quite powerful at that time, they were planning to attack us and beat us up. But he somehow liked us, and he told them, he was the leader, he said, no, leave them alone. So that he defended us, and I think for that service, Krishna made him a devotee.
Yes.
Became a very good devotee.
Yes.
And those were the days. Rough and
Those were the
tumble
days.
pioneer out there, getting bottles of wine, communists wanted to beat us up. The beautiful young girls, and, distributing books, and he made a great sacrifice. Thank you.
Yes.
He gave your youth to Srila Prabhupada.
Definitely, definitely. Youth to Srila Prabhupada. And I'm still young and strong.
Yeah.
I think. If there is anything else I can't remember, I'm now all completely a dimmer. So yes, thank you very much.
So we heard a few times about young, the Gurukulis, so maybe we should